So today, we're going to dive deep into the crazy sonic universe of a duo that took a super niche genre and just exploded it onto the global stage. Yup, we're talking about the one, the only, Infected Mushroom. And that's the real question, isn't it? I mean, they started out in this very specific corner of the electronic music world, but today, they sell out massive venues to fans who have probably never even heard the term psytrance. So how in the world did they pull that off? To figure it out, we're going to look at their story in 5 key parts. We'll kick things off with their surprising origins as the punk and the prodigy, then we'll see how they just shattered all the rules of their genre. We'll also look at how they went from being DJs to full-blown rock stars, try to unpack how they got so famous, and finally get into their secret sonic ingredients. Let's do it. All right, first up, to really get the music, you gotta understand the guys making it. And this is just a classic case of opposites attracting. Okay, so on one side, you've got Erez Eisen. This guy was a legit classical prodigy. I'm talking learning the organ at 4 years old, studying piano at a conservatory by age 8, before he got totally obsessed with computers and electronic music. And then on the other side, you have Amit Duvdevani. He came from a completely different world. He was playing keyboards for a local punk rock band, and his background was all heavy metal.
And that punk attitude really stuck with them. Get this, their name, Infected Mushroom. You'd think it came from some deep psychedelic vision, right? Nope. They just straight up stole it from an old punk band that had already broken up. It's kind of the perfect rebellious start for them.
So, you put this punk and this prodigy together, what happens to the sound? Well, they might have started in one genre, but they absolutely refused to stay there.
So their home base was psytrance. And if you're not familiar, just think of it as this super intense style of electronic music. It's all about creating a hypnotic journey on the dance floor with really complex layered synths and these driving, powerful rhythms. And for their first couple of albums, they were just masters of the craft. But then came 2003. Their album Converting Vegetarians dropped, and it was this massive double album that just completely shattered everyone's expectations. It was a huge turning point. The genius of this album is that it has a total split personality. The first disc, the trance side, was for the fans. It was that classic, high-energy psytrance they were famous for. But the second disc, the other side, whoa, that was a complete left turn. It was this wild, experimental ride into down-tempo, breakbeats, trip-hop, and for the very first time, you hear Duvdev's own vocals. It was basically their declaration of independence from any single genre. And after that album, the floodgates were wide open. Their sound has since become this incredible fusion of, well, everything. They pull from their own history. Erez's classical stuff, Amit's heavy metal roots, and they throw in everything from dubstep to electro house. But somehow, they always keep that psychedelic core. And this refusal to be just another electronic act brings us to our third point, how they completely revolutionized their live show. It all started because they literally got bored with their own show. As Erez Eisen put it, he was watching videos of them performing and just thought it was boring. 2 people standing behind machines. They knew they needed more energy, more raw power. So what did they do? They completely overhauled it. In 2004, they brought in live guitarists, and suddenly there was all this raw rock energy. Then by 2007, they added a live drummer. This wasn't a DJ set anymore. This was a full-on live band, and it just totally transformed what they were doing on stage. And the fans, they absolutely noticed. Like this one Reddit user said, their show felt less like a typical rave and way more like a straight-up rock concert. It was loud, it was intense, and it was just visually captivating in a way that 2 guys behind a table rarely is. Which brings us to that big question we asked at the beginning. How did all of this, the genre bending, the rock show energy, catapult them to mainstream stardom? Well, if you go on forums like psynews.org, fans have been debating this for ages. Some theories are pretty obvious. Adding vocals and guitars just made their sound way more accessible to people. Others point to their insane US touring schedule and professional management. But here's a really interesting one. Early file-sharing sites, like LimeWire, might have just plastered their name everywhere, making them an easy discovery for anyone who was curious. And their reach just became truly global. This little anecdote from a fan in India says it all. His colleagues at work, who had absolutely no idea what psytrance even was, all knew Infected Mushroom. They had become bigger than their own genre. Okay, so for our final section, let's peel back the curtain a little bit and look at the actual method to their madness. What makes their music sound so them?
I think Amit Duvdevani really summed up their mission perfectly. They don't just see themselves as making beats. They see themselves as psychedelic storytellers who create these epic journeys that just happen to be perfect for the dance floor.
And the formula they use to create these stories is just mind-bogglingly complex. We're talking meticulous, detailed arrangements that often have over 200 separate layers of sound in a single song. They even build their own custom software and effects to create sounds no one else has. It all comes back to their core philosophy. Always, always choose the weird, complex, and unexpected sound. So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Yeah, their music will absolutely make you dance, but that's not the only point. It's meant to be this immersive experience. Every single track is its own story, a journey designed to surprise you, to challenge you, and let's be honest, to completely blow your mind.
Which leaves us with one final thought. They started in psytrance, but they folded in punk and metal and classical. They turned their DJ set into a rock show. They got famous in places that had never even heard of their own genre. So the question is, did they just break all the rules, or did they actually end up creating a whole new game?